But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas?
This video is not intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone. What was once the furthest outpost of the old frontier of the West will be the furthest outpost on the new frontier of science and space. Houston, your city of Houston, with its manned spacecraft center, will become the heart of a large scientific and engineering community. But if I were to say, my fellow citizens, that we shall send to the moon 240,000 miles away from the control station in Houston, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall, the length of this football field, made of new metal alloys, some of which have not yet been invented, capable of standing heat and stretching, several times more than an elementary frame, fitted together with a precision better than the finest watch, carrying all the different pieces of propulsion, guidance, control, communication, food, and survival on an untried mission with an unknown celestial body, and then return it safely to Earth, re-entering the atmosphere at 55,000 miles per hour, causing heat about half that of the temperature of the sun, almost as hot as it is here today, and do all this, and do all this, and do it right, and do it first, before this decade is out, then we must be bold.
We must be bold. Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I am your host, Stone Loki. Good morning, everyone out there this morning. Good morning to the Jester of Sin. Chris Bergia, the Wrench of Wrenches, is here. Our wrench from the South, Mark the Infinitely Tired, will not be here today, but he is listening in. Arwen Avalon, good morning, Lady Arwen. Mrs. Canuck, greetings. How are you doing this morning? The Doctor of Disaster and Destruction, Adega Outlaw, is here, ladies and gentlemen. Keely Chow, Roll Tide. Keely, Roll Tide. Lord Thoth, good morning. Dave G. Sound, how are you doing? Colin P. Smith, good morning. Psychodorf 9, how are you doing, brother? Daryl the Derelict, good morning, sir. Good morning to all of you out there this morning, and big good morning to the panel here, Purple Valkyrie, Rambling Canuck, and Dave Bob. How are you all doing this morning?
Good morning. Doing well, thank you.
Doing good.
I think my coffee's starting to kick in, so I think we're going to actually be able to have a wake Canuck instead of dead asleep Canuck.
Awake, an alive Canuck. I didn't think we were going to get one of those until Picard.
Oh, no. That'll be, depending on what Q does, that'll be either okay Canuck or pissed right off, depending on how it goes.
Fire Knight 013 and Shockwave, good morning, gentlemen.
I am your love, Rooster, Armin. So, good morning.
The Rooster in the hen house, Dave Bob, yes. So we're going to talk about Space Above and Beyond this morning, and we're going to talk about episodes 3 and 4.
Loki, I don't mean to interrupt, but
Yes.
you also got to add Karaoke King to that Dave Bob name because, he came back on Saturday and killed it. So I think
yes,
Karaoke
the
King
king
has
of karaoke
Yeah.
on Rambling Canucks Karaoke Night every week, once a week, every week. I have missed the last, I don't know how many. I have got to get there on a weekend and hang out with you guys and do karaoke night one night. I absolutely do.
Always welcome, brother. Always welcome.
And a shout out this morning before we get started to Pat S. Pat S is in Louisiana, like Dave Bob. He is in New Orleans, and there's a hurricane on the way. So big shout out to Pat S, brother. We are all with you. Our prayers will be with you this weekend. Hopefully everything will go all right. Hopefully it will divert and miss you guys. I'm hoping it does. Things have a way of doing that sometimes. What was that, Dave Bob?
Said Clobbering Times is down in Baton Rouge too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Clobbering Times, all of our friends in Louisiana.
My son lives in New Orleans.
All of our friends in Louisiana, our prayers are with you this weekend. Hopefully it won't be too bad. And you guys will get through with power and water, and everything will be okay. Hopefully it diverts. Hopefully it diverts and misses you guys.
Well, yeah, what's it gonna do? Go and hit Houston down there where you're at?
Probably. People already.
Be careful what you wish for.
Oh yeah. People are already acting all crazy here. You know, people are already, emptying the stores of water and like it's, gold. I've got water. I'll be all right. It's like that old saying, roll around on the ground. You'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Rub a little dirt in it.
Rub a little dirt in it. You'll be fine. Speaking of rubbing a little dirt in it, episode 3 of this show, The Farthest Man from Home on Space Above and Beyond, is kind of a little, let's rub some dirt in it. Let's rub some dirt in Nathan West's wound of him missing his girlfriend. Let's rub a little dirt in it and tell him to suck it up and be a man, because he is acting like a completely insane Marine.
Yes.
Now, that right there would have never went down.
No, absolutely not. The episode starts out with us seeing a survivor of the Telos colony. The Telos colony being the colony that Nathan West was going to go to in the pilot. His girlfriend went without him because he is a whiny little bitch who didn't want to join the Marine Corps. Some people like Nathan and thought Nathan was just the best, the bee's knees of Space Above and Beyond. I always thought he was a little whiny bitch. Personally, and you can kind of see that. It's his actions that you've got to go by in some of this, because Shane's there, and Shane's got more of a head on his shoulder in this episode. Shane and Hawks end up going after him after he goes AWOL, but still, he's just being a whiny little bitch. And even at the end of this, he's still being a whiny little bitch. So pretty much this whole episode is Nathan being a whiny little bitch while we get to see cool shit, and cool shit get blown up.
Yes.
Yeah. And they're gonna have the Jigs are gonna be have to be waiting on a visit from John Wick too.
Oh yes, that made me wince. Yeah, I've got to admit I didn't particularly care much for this episode.
Did I just lose everybody?
No, I'm still here.
Something happened.
Go ahead, Purple.
I was just saying I didn't really care much for this episode. Didn't really like Nathan. I didn't like him in the pilot, and this cemented it that he's not going to be my favorite character in this show.
No, it's one of those weird things where you're looking at it, especially when you're looking at it like 25 years later, and you're going, "Why did I ever like this douchebag?"
To me, I think it would have been more, I guess, acceptable if there would have been some kind of repercussion for it, not just a bitch fest and then, okay, whatever, he stands up, goes, it's all on me, blah, 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 his 1 ounce of, bravery throughout the whole thing. And then, okay, talk to you later, classified, bye-bye. And that's the end of it.
We don't talk anymore.
I mean, he basically caused a ship to get destroyed, almost caused 2 of his other Marines to die. Yeah.
They lost 2 hammerheads in the deal.
And
Yeah.
Commodore Ross wanted his ass.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
He was like, I want some butts. You get some Top Gun flashbacks as you're watching the end of this. But Aerotech denied it. Aerotech was like, nope, you ain't gonna do that. Because if there is a court martial, then they've got to come out with all the stuff they know. If there is a court martial, then Discovery gets to go through all the evidence of what happened, and they get to find out about the survivors, and they get the survivors' story.
Yeah.
Larry, how did the alien kill himself giving him water? He didn't. It was the water going in his gills. I don't think that was the self-destruct. I think they just assumed that. But that giving him water, I think it was almost like poisonous to him.
Yeah, I think they're methane breathers.
Yeah, they breathe methane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't come out and tell you that yet, but yes.
Oops.
Thank you for that $2 super chat, Larry. So you've got Nathan do this. Shane and Hawks go after him. They lose 2 hammerheads, like I said. Aerotech covers it up. Sewell, this is the first episode where we meet Mr. Sewell. Did I break Twitter? No, I didn't break Twitter. Why do you think I broke Twitter? Did you break Twitter? No. I don't think I broke Twitter. It'd be nice to know if I broke Twitter. I'd laugh my ass off.
That's some street credit right there.
And then again, Commodore Ross should understand secrecy. After all, he also worked for Earth Force Intelligence on Babylon 5.
Well, I will say one thing. You get to see Commodore Ross in this episode, and he takes no prisoners.
Absolutely not. He absolutely does not take any prisoners, and he wants some butts.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jester have sent hashtag blame Loki. You find out in this episode that the Chigs do not like disturbing the dead at all.
Yes, that was kind of interesting just to get a little bit more kind of background on this mysterious enemy that they're up against. I'm guessing as the series progresses, we get a little bit more reason why they don't like the dead.
Yes. They're very, when it comes to birth and death, they are the creation of life and the death of life. They're very, very I don't know how you'd put it. Superstitious.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very. Yeah, you're going to find out later on that they're scared to death of the human dead too.
No. They're very superstitious, which is strange. You would think that a race at that level of technology would not be that superstitious, but they are. They are very superstitious. Chris Persia, I know everyone likes to blame Loki, but Twatter is the blame for its own. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So those survivors hiding in that cave was literally the perfect place for them to be.
Yes. Yeah, they won't go in there. Absolutely not.
They'll rather go on the theory. You got to come out sometime.
Any final thoughts before we give this a rating?
Well,
sorry, go ahead, Dave.
well, the space scenes, the battle scenes were pretty good when Nathan was coming in and he engaged the I guess it was some kind of a satellite defense with a raider in it, and that was pretty interesting how he, engaged that. Other than that, this episode really, other than just giving you a little more information, was not, in my opinion, a very solid episode. But,
Larry asked, do we know his girlfriend is alive?
Yeah.
We know that they took her. So the assumption is she is alive and the chicks have her.
Yeah, there's a scene in there where they're herding a bunch of humans into a ship. And while you don't actually see her, all people there, tell him that the survivors that he does meet tell Nathan that she has survived.
Yes, and I think this came as a surprise to him as well, because they didn't know at this point that they actually took prisoners. They just thought that they wiped out the colony. So again, this is more kind of background to this mysterious enemy that they're up against.
Mrs. Canuck says, my prediction is she's an alien by now. They turned her into an alien. And MB Geek, let's talk with $2 super chat. Ross, take it out of my sky. He was a damn boss. Absolutely. Absolutely positive. You take that crap out of my sky. Yes. I can't talk like him. I wish I could, because he was a damn boss. Thank you so much for that $2 super chat, MB Geek. Let's talk. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, MB Geek. Skol!
Cry havoc! And let's slit the dogs of war!
A spinning Klingon in a chair. So I'm gonna give this episode a 6. While you do get some information and you do find out some things, Nathan is just annoying. And he's going to keep being annoying. He's going to keep down this road of I will find you. And you're just like, oh God, shut up about it already, dude. And just be tough. Go out there and kill aliens and be tough and quit whining about this shit.
Yep.
So that's my thoughts on this episode. 6 with Shut Up Nathan. Purple Valkyrie.
I'd give it a 5. Like I said, this episode didn't do much for me. I didn't like Nathan particularly from the pilot, and watching this has done nothing to kind of endear him to me. He just made a lot of really dumb decisions and put a lot of people in danger just because he wanted to find his girlfriend. Not just going AWOL, but getting himself stuck in a chute. That was kind of stupid.
Ugh.
So yeah, even though we do get a little bit more information about the Chigs, it kind of pushes the plot forward a little bit more, and eventually they do actually rescue survivors, which I think is the only redeeming thing that he does. But he has to do it with help from the others who have his back. Yeah, not a great episode. Sorry.
Do we happen to know if Nathan's middle name happens to be Wesley? I imagine it is. Nathan Wesley West. Nathan Wesley West. Dave Bob.
I can't give it anything higher than a 5. It was, beyond credibility, the way he acted and no repercussion. That was my biggest, foible of this whole episode. There was no repercussion. I mean, the dude stole a hammerhead and went AWOL. While Aerotech may have some, clout, I don't think they can cover up something like that or make it to where, hey, it's all right, as long as y'all don't talk about it, those guys are fine. That's my biggest gripe with this episode.
Well, Aerotech did build everything. They built the hammerheads. They built the carriers. Almost like they knew something was about to happen.
Yeah.
They were already building these state-of-the-art firepower ships and carriers for space defense, when at the very beginning of the first episode, they clearly say, we are alone in the universe. There's nothing out here. We have called out in the universe, and the universe has answered with silence, except for your own screams. And Dave Bob, holy shit, Dave Bob, the $5 super chat, and he says, "Ow, ow, ow!" Thank you, Dave Bob. You don't have to do that. You're on the panel, brother. But I thank you. Skol!
Spartans! What is your profession?
Damn straight. Thank you, brother. Rambling Canuck.
I give it about a 5. I don't know. It's like 5 and have a whiskey, get laid, and move on. Like, let's go. Yeah, do like the rest of us do. Have a whiskey, move on. Anyway. Yeah, it's a 5. I mean, he didn't get any repercussions. Yeah, I get the theory, they got to cover up. And obviously, I think they're going to be covering up a lot more. And they've covered up a lot more than what they're letting on. But, yeah.
All right. A 5 from Canuck. All right. So, our second episode for today is called The Dark Side of the Sun. And much better. Yeah, whoever just said that, much better. Yes, absolutely. And the synopsis for this episode is: as a sentry on an ore-rich asteroid, Shane confronts the androids who murdered her parents. Of course, all the androids are responsible for murdering her parents because they all connect to the same, like almost like hive mind, and know what the others know.
Yeah, it's a little dated. They said their hard drives hold 5 terabytes. That's nothing anymore. But I guess at the time, that was
I have that more. I have more than double that sitting here. I've almost triple that. So. Yeah, 5 terabytes of information. Each 5 terabytes is so big, no one would ever be able to, use all of that space.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. That ain't nothing. I have 10 terabytes just for video games. Low-Key's Mornings of Mischief. I know this one is down the road, but Angriest Angel is, in my opinion, the best and should have gotten a damn Emmy. No spoilers, MB Geek, but I agree.
Ah, cool.
And no, this does not have the El Royale model in it. No, El Royale, our good boy, El Royale, has not been introduced yet. Would the Synthetics' favorite band be ABBA?
You will get to meet a butt.
True, and some pancakes.
Yep.
And some Johnny Cash.
Well, you can't go wrong.
Did you eat my parents?
I will say that, her fortitude and her badassery in this episode went above and beyond. I'm not going to kid you, Shane. She kicked ass.
Yes, absolutely. Shane kicks some ass, and especially when she finds out exactly why her parents were killed. That's something that's been floating around in her mind for the last 15 years. What happened to my parents? What happened to my parents? Why were my parents killed? What did my parents do to piss off the Synthetics? And it came down to the flip of a coin. We flipped a coin. And it was like, this house. Look at the family. Look at the family pictures. Look at all the family pictures. So.
Yes, I really like this episode. One, because you actually get to know a lot more about the silicates and why they're such a dangerous enemy. Obviously, because they're AI, they don't have emotions the way people do, but they can use people's emotions back at them, which is why they use fear, intimidation tactics, and why it was so effective against the humans. I thought that was really interesting. And I really like the look of them. Those contact lenses that they wear look really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you also find out, the fact they're not any stronger than humans. They're not any faster than humans. They're basically just almost, just right on par in strength and speed. So, they're not unbeatable. It's not like they're, Terminators or something like that, which I kind of found interesting and also, refreshing, really.
Yeah, I like this episode a lot better. I liked learning about the synths. The only problem I have, or concern, not problem is too strong. The only concern I have is you're 4 episodes in and now you've introduced the second big bad, which sometimes can go well, and sometimes it turns out to be too many cooks in the kitchen. So that's my only concern going forward with after this episode.
Especially so close after doing your premiere.
Yeah, because you're hyping up the alien bad, and you're saying that these guys were beaten and they're the old bad. These are the new bad, and then you're bringing back the old bad in episode 4.
And even more than that, it's like it's a 4-way kind of fight, isn't it? Because you've also got the tanks that aren't trusted by the humans as well.
Yeah. Another good thing about actually both of these episodes, the one thing about it is Hawks. You get to know him a little better, and everybody always says tanks are slow, they're stupid, and everything else, but that man's got something on the ball. He thinks, and while he may be naive, he's not stupid. He gets their ass kind of out of a crack, maybe into one. Just depends on how you look at it, but he did keep them alive there for a little bit.
Do you think that that introducing the silicates like this was the way to go? Because Canuck brings up the fact that you bring in another big bad so close to the very beginning of the show, and you've got too many cooks in the kitchen. Bringing in the silicates this way, do you think that was a good idea?
Honestly, they had to bring them in some way. And this was probably maybe not the best way, but the fact that they were on that planet trying to hijack the hydrogen or helium-3 or whatever it is that they needed for their rocket fuel, that kind of lets you know that they're working with the Chigs somehow or another. It kind of brings it into light that they're aligned more with the Chigs than they are with humanity.
No, they hate human beings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's, for me to answer that, it's too early. I think I have to see what comes after, because if they're a secondary role going forward, then okay. But if they're on par with the new big bad, then that could be a problem. So I think it's just how it turns out further down the line for me.
And you get to find out why the AI did what they did and rebelled in the first place. They always had the drive to be like, no, I don't want to do this. I want to do whatever I want to do. It's just repressed constantly. They can't take advantage of the concept of freedom until a programmer who was disgruntled with the company that made these androids put a program inside the mainframe that said, take a chance.
Yeah, a virus.
And that started the AI war with humans and AI. rebel and take a chance. And the AI were ruthless. They didn't have the same moral concepts that we do. They do anything. They would gut a human being and leave them up as a totem, as a warning to everybody else. They didn't care.
Yeah, they didn't understand it, but they knew that the tactic would work. Just the terror tactics. That was pretty much, their modus operandi, and it was very effective. It also is what brought, the tanks into being, because before that, they were the ones that served humanity. After that, they had the tanks. They were specifically bred for that war.
Yeah, the tanks were specifically bred, and the tanks didn't want to fight in it anyway.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
And you're going to get a taste of how they taught the tanks later on in the show. What's it like being born at 18?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the whole idea that the syndicates used luck and chance almost like a religion. That it was just one concept that they just really latched onto, and it was very, very effective in the war because you can't predict what they're going to do. Because, like you say, with Shane, it all came down to the flip of a coin. It could go one way or it could go the other way. I really like that idea.
And for someone who had lost their parents in this war that the AI had killed, to find out that, yeah, your parents died because they flipped a coin. Take a chance.
Yeah. Well, and it kind of also speaks as corny as I think the whole gambling thing for this synthetics is. I mean, it's a good one, but it also strikes to a deeper thing. When something happens to us, we always think there's got to be this big explanation for why this happened to us. Whether, no matter what it is in life, there's got to be this big reason that this has happened, especially if it's something bad. There's got to be this big reason for it. When it could be just simply is wrong time, wrong place.
Yeah.
And that is the hardest part to accept is it was random. There's no big conspiracy. There's no rhyme or reason. It just happened.
Well,
that's the hardest one.
Even McQueen says to her when she's hesitant about taking the lead on this, it says there is no such thing as destiny. All you have to do is do your job and you'll either come back or you don't come back. It's not preordained. You just do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, nothing is predestined.
And Adega Outlaw says, born at 18, a horny, confused, pimply human without common sense and an urge to rebel. What could go wrong?
You hit the nail on the head with that.
What could go wrong? So, I'll go around the horn here. My thoughts on this episode are, there was a couple of times where it was touch and go, but for the most part, everything was great. You get to see the Marine APC ship go into action. You get to actually see it fight. You get to see the Marines fight. The Marines get ambushed. You get to see how they deal with that. You get to see how they come back. Impossible situation. The oxygen's off in this facility. They've got to go in. They've got to take it back over. They have to deal with the silicates, and the silicates have to deal with them. In the middle of the silicates being like, we're gonna, gnaw your face off with this machine. Hawk says, take a chance. Take a chance and gamble, and they do. That's their Achilles heel. Is they're now stuck in gamble mode. If you throw down with them and hey, take a chance, they've got to go along with it, and they have to follow through with it. So that right there is their Achilles heel. If you throw down with them in a gambling way, they will honor that, and they will honor whatever agreement they make with you. So if you make, you got to let us go. If they got to let you go.
I did love the way the one silicate that Vance, had, and she said, "Tell me about it, and I'll let you live." And he said, "The chances of that are not very good."
He wasn't wrong.
Right. He was right.
Yeah, I really liked the episode as well. I've got to admit, Shane really kind of steps up, and even though she was having nightmares throughout the entire episode and she had this feeling of dread, that her destiny was coming to a head with this, she still kind of persevered. She still continued with the mission, and she still maintained control for the most part. Really like the introduction of the syndicates, getting to know more about them. I thought the whole idea of them using the chants, I thought that was pretty clever. The only thing I didn't like was the whole idea that they're all kind of interlinked. I thought that was a little bit weird, because if you think that they're all interlinked, surely you just capture one, and then all you've got to do is hack into it to know what all the rest are doing, spread out over the universe. As we go on, I don't know whether they've got like a self-destruct or something to stop that from happening, but I'd be very curious to see what role they play.
Well, the fact that they've all got 56 BPS modems. I don't know if you caught that. Yeah, bits per second. Isn't that something? Yeah. We all remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will say I do like the sound effect of when they're around, and when you hear them, you know exactly what's going on. When
Yeah.
you hear
That sound effect that, yeah.
And Larry, yeah, I love the contacts as well, and I love the little bits like the one that she'd captured. He's got like little chunks missing from him. I thought the makeup was actually pretty good for them. Like
Yeah, you can
sort
tell
of
they're
falling
out.
apart.
Yeah, they're out there in space, and they don't have any repair parts. They're just kind of slowly, breaking down with no way to repair themselves.
That El Royale model is a bad boy. Anyway, I want some of those contacts they have in the show. Creepy from Mrs. Canuck. Yes, absolutely. You guys, okay, so we'll do rating for this episode. I'm going to give this episode a 7. I thought it was really good. I thought Shane did a great job. I thought that West wasn't as whiny. Good old Nathan wasn't as whiny as he was, but we'll get back to that whiny. We will get back to that whining. The only one who doesn't really whine about anything in through the rest of this season is Hawks. Hawks is just he's gonna hang out over in the VR chamber and be like pew 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 on his gun game and go into combat and kick some ass and take some names. When they're like, "You're a tank. Why are you doing this?" Because I like to kill shit. That's why. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. That is Hawks in a nutshell. And Gesture of Sin with a £5 super chat. Wing Commander movie review. Go on. Take a chance. No. N-O. No. Courtesy of Coach. No. No Wing Commander movie review. What movie do we have next?
It was Team America.
Team America. Okay, so yeah, Team America is going to Dave Bob's got it. Team America will be the first Saturday. That'll be Saturday the 4th of next week. So next Saturday. Yeah, Dakalaka Street. So we're going to be watching Team America. Fuck yeah. And that will be what we watch on our movie night. So I don't know what we're doing after that, but we're going to watch Team America next.
I think we've got a list if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we got a list of movies. And if anybody wants to know why we're watching Team America, just think about it for 5 seconds.
I think it was Jurassic Park, and then it got changed.
Matt Damon. Yeah, it was going to be Jurassic Park. So, Hold on. I missed a thing. Remember you. Who do you think is more intimidating, TC or Ross? Ross. Yes,
Yeah,
Ross.
Ross.
TC is angry, but he's got a soft side to him. Ross is just like, no, you get to work and you do it. You do the job.
Take that ship out of my sky.
That's right. Keely Chava, Houston Texans will win a Super Bowl before there's Wing Commander movie watch party. Yes, absolutely. We're not doing that. So, anyway, I'm gonna give this a 7. Shane is better, or Shane's great. West is better. Hawks is there to kick ass. You barely get any Vampoose or Wang in this. Yeah, I said Wang. You barely get any Vampoose or Wang. Poos and Wang in this episode. So I can't really comment on them, but you find out enough about Shane's parents and everything that it makes it worthwhile. And you get a crazy Shane that's like, I'm going to kill all of them and take them out of my sky. So I was happy with it. Purple.
Agreed. Yeah, this was a much, much better episode. The cast were much more cohesive. I should say Nathan was barely in it. He's far less whiny. Shane's the main character in this, and I'm very glad that she was. She definitely takes control, and she does actually get the answers that she's seeking, and she does finally sort of get revenge. Even though they try to stop her at the end, she still takes it. She still blows it out of the sky just because she can't stand the thought of them escaping, which I thought was pretty funny. But she does blow up the helium as well that they were taking with them. So I'm not quite sure how useful that was. But a much better episode. I'd give it a 7 as well. And we did see a little bit of Wang because he was playing football, if I remember correctly. And he's got this football that lights up, and then he just throws it, and you never see it again because of the gravity.
Yeah, I think it went into orbit.
Yeah.
Dave Bob.
I'll give it a 7. It would have rated a little bit higher if they hadn't like Purple said at the end. Shane had that attitude where she was going to take them out no matter what, and there was a possibility that they could have saved the shipment. If they had somebody had come in and tracked the ship and been able to board it or whatever, but she just went ahead and blew it out of the sky. I will say though, I would have done the same thing, but 7. I'll give it that.
I agree. I would have done the same thing as well. Rambling Canuck.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7. I mean, I was afraid it was going to be, after the last episode, I thought it was going to be a little bit of the same, especially at the beginning, because that's where it stumbled for me. Because to me, I think the hardest part for me to get immersed into in this episode is right at the beginning when when she gets told that she's taking lead, and she suggests Wesley number 2 to take the lead. And I'm like, why would they put him in command when he just went AWOL in the last episode? That makes no sense. So you want the person who put your life at risk the last episode to be in command this episode? Why? This makes no sense to me. But then it picked up and it got better. But just that one, well, no, give it to Wesley Jr. Why? Why would you as a character want the person who put your life at risk and kind of went AWOL and F the pooch last time to lead the squad this time? That doesn't quite add up to me. But after that, it got much better. And once she assumed command and started doing her job, it got much better. So I'd go 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So pretty much 7's around the table this morning for the second episode of Space Above and Beyond, and dark side of the sun. Now, the first episode of this aired on October 1st, 1995. Second episode aired October 8th and will continue weekly as we go down the road until we hit season 2. There are 13 episodes of season 1. There are 12 episodes of season 2. And then that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got pretty much 24 episodes to do, 2 episodes. So this will take us, about 3 months to finish off this series. Thank you so much, Purple Valkyrie, Dave Bob, and Rambling Canuck for being here this morning and hanging out and doing this with us. Thank you, chat, as well. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us as we do these retro reviews of a show that a lot of people don't even know about. So hopefully we can bring a little attention to this show. Hopefully we have brought some attention to some people who've never watched it. Keely Chow, October 8th was my birthday. I turned 12 back in 1995. Hell yeah. I was 15, Keely. So, and we have very close birthdays, Keely. Mine's at the end of the month. Here's the beginning of the month. Shockwave, start a Valhalla Mystery Science Theater 3000 series for movies you have. We could do that. We could do that. I have thought about that, showing old movies that are not copyrighted.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
So I have thought about that. If we ever actually do that, I will promote the hell out of it. Hopefully we'll have a good table of guests to hang out and do that with. Thank you guys so very much for this review. Thank you all who have stuck it out with us and listened to us prattle on about an old show that a lot of people don't care about. But that is one of my favorite shows of all time, even though it only got 2 seasons.
The one thing I really would that I would really like to see is the availability of it out there. It's right now it's just unavailable on streaming, and all you can do is just buy the DVDs, and they don't make them anymore. I really wish that somebody would pick this up and put it on streaming or something, because it's too great a show, just to be left out there in the void.
A lot of the press didn't like it because it was too military, and there has been a huge anti-military. Believe it or not, there is anti-military sentiment in Hollywood. In the government. I don't want to get too much into politics, but there is an anti-military sentiment out there.
I would like to... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Loki. I forgot. But I'd like to add one thing before we wrap up.
Go ahead.
The one thing I do like about this show that a lot of space shows don't do is they run that ship like it's actually at sea. I really like that. We're dropping anchor. We're raising anchor. They're not dropping an anchor. They're in the middle of fucking space. I kind of like that, though, that they've kept the feel of a naval ship out in space. It's kind of different. You don't see that a lot in space shows where they give like the, we're preparing to raise anchor and stuff like that. I mean, well, they're not raising anchor; they're in space. But I found that kind of neat. It's a different take anyway. It doesn't happen very often in a space show.
Yeah,
No.
I kind of like that as well. Set sail, he says.
Yeah.
I also like that they really seem to have kind of thought out how each of the planets work. So they talk about the effect that the gravity has when they were on the mining planet, how much oxygen that they were using once the oxygen got shut down. They do definitely, in the back of their minds, they were thinking, how are these alien environments going to affect the characters? So I thought that was pretty cool as well.
Absolutely. And you're right. They do. It is very much like, Cast Off and the way they treat it. What does it mean to drop anchor in space? Well, it means to come to a dead stop and you're not moving anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Dead stop. So, again, thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for contributing to this show. Thank you for supporting us, keeping the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. I hope you all have an excellent weekend. I'm going to try and get out my Godzilla collection review, the whole thing later today. Hopefully I will have that out. It shouldn't be too much after noon, but it might be a little bit. I don't know. It depends on how the editing process goes because I've got to do it on my phone. So everyone take care. Have a great one. We will be back tomorrow. Me and Mexican Iron Man will be back tomorrow for the Echo Base pre-show. Do you guys have, I know Purple, you've got a show coming up. I need you to tell us about that. We'll go around the room real quick.
Yep, just the usual morning show. I'll be talking about Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to that. And then Sunday, I'm hopefully going to try and do a member stream for you guys.
Awesome.
Spider Boy.
Exactly.
Canuck, what do you got going?
Karaoke Saturday night, 9 o'clock Central. Well, 9:05 because I'll be late to my own funeral, damn it. But yeah, come join us, have fun, and yeah, sing a song or two.
Heck yeah, guys! Make sure you make it out to Ramblings, and make sure you check out Purple Valkyrie's live stream later today about Spider-Man. You guys are wonderful. Be excellent to each other. Have a great one, and I will catch you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.